Well, did we just get some good news from James Gunn on the possible future of Young Justice? He recently had a couple of comments about discussions with a certain streaming service. So I thought we could take a couple minutes to dive into what he said, what it could mean for Young Justice, and why I think it's really good news. Well, we've been saying for a while that we really hope Young Justice can return for a season 5, but we're clearly looking at some alternate paths to move forward with the next season of the show. Now, we know Wiseman and crew are way more than ready to do it, but the question has remained for a while, where and when could we get an order? Now, since James Gunn took over the DCU, we really haven't gotten a lot of news, except we know some standalone shows will continue. He's just given no details about where, why, or when. And that brings us to the report from the other day. If you remember earlier this week, we talked a little bit about James Gunn and Zack Snyder, and the possibilities of his Snyderverse showing up at Netflix. Now, as we've talked about many times, Gunn really is keeping the door open and talking with fans, and he made it super clear Netflix has expressed no interest in the Snyderverse. But he did admit he was talking to Netflix and had conversations with the streaming service. Now, this isn't the first time we've heard this, by the way. Several months ago, we had several stories that indicated that DC and DC Films was farming several shows out to alternate platforms like Amazon, Paramount, or Netflix. And even then, it's where we expressed the greatest possibilities of Young Justice returning. It seems to me that the new DCU is going to be a centerpiece on HBO Max, and the possibilities of it returning to HBO Max are probably pretty slim. Now, given the history of Young Justice over on Netflix, things look way more optimistic there. The show did really well when it was on Netflix. As a matter of fact, the campaigns to get a third season all happened when it was on Netflix, and the show was always topping the trending page over there just like it does now on HBO Max. The other upside is the last season of Young Justice cost about $12 million to make, which sounds like a lot of money to normal folks like us, but considering the number of views and subscribers that would chase that, it should make it very tempting to Netflix to possibly want to gobble up. Now, this assumes Young Justice was on the table during James Gunn's discussions, and we obviously have no actual proof or reports of that directly. But he did confirm that them and Netflix are having discussions, and that has to mean some kind of projects finding their way there in one shape or form, most likely animation, leaving us with the best possibility of Young Justice to return. Now, this is far from confirmation, and is just a positive sign. The fact that these communication channels are open means the discussions are happening and these things aren't dead. Now, we've obviously got no word from Greg Wiseman or anybody officially associated with the show, but these negotiations often happen behind closed doors, and honestly, the creatives aren't usually clued in until a lot of stuff is a done deal. Hopefully we get some updates on this really soon. I know a lot of you guys are huge Young Justice fans, and we're all just left waiting and wondering when our favorite show is finally going to come back.